Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike with Fowler Family Farm. Hey, today's video is a continuation of the projects that we were working on previously in the previous video. And if you haven't seen that video, make sure you go up here in the corner and I'll list that video for you so you can go check it out after this video. Basically that video is us building this pen, this Doeling pen. All my does are over here now, separated from their mamas. Which they've been separated before, but they kept getting out. Long story. So we had water issues. Pond kept shrinking. They just walked around the pond and got back to their mama. But the buck was in there with their mama during breeding season, so I needed to make sure I could get them out and separated so they don't get pregnant. Hopefully none of them are pregnant, but there's a chance one or two could be pregnant. So I'm going to start with this small tub here, just for now, and then I plan on getting two more bigger tubs over here later today. I just wanted to make sure they got water really quick because it is hot out here today. But today's video is still going to be about this Doeling pen. We're going to add a fence hanging hay feeder for them. I'm going to build it. I've built one in the past. It's actually in the buck pen. I really like it. It's easy, and I know you guys are looking at me through a fence. Hopefully it's not too annoying, but it's kind of my best angle right now with the way the sun's setting. We're going to build that fence hanging hay feeder, and we're going to hang it up over here, and I'll show you all that. But we're also going to take Chip, our buck, and move him out of the buck pen and back in with the mamas. That way, if he missed any of the mamas, he's got a chance to make it up to us and get them bred. So hopefully he didn't miss them, because I really want all my mamas bred around the same time, like within the same week. That way all the babies are born in the same week. That's really what you want when you're raising goats. You don't want a big spread of births, especially if you have a bigger farm. Bigger goat herd. You really want all those babies born together so you can do everything at once, and you don't have to keep coming out and doing the same things over and over. Like when we give CD&T shots to these babies, we want to try to give all of it to them at once. We don't want to give 10 shots to these 10, 2 weeks later give 10 to these, and then 2 weeks later give 10 to these. We want to be able to do it all at once, so that's really why you want all your mamas bred at the same time. All right, let's get started with this video. Okay, I'm sure a lot of y'all are probably wondering why I'm watering these goats right in the sun. Like, why is there water in the sun, not in the shade? Honestly, I kind of like it in the sun. I know it's going to grow algae and all that, but over time. But that allows me to see that it's dirty and I need to clean it. If I put it in the shade, I tend to not clean it as often. It's kind of weird. It probably don't get dirty as often as well. But where I would put it in the shade, they're going to be bedding down and using the bathroom there, and all that dust created in that area will get in that water trough, and it gets dirty. And I just don't see that it's dirty because it's darker and it's just shaded and it's hard to tell. So I don't seem to clean it as often. So this way I'll see the green buildup and I'll clean it. So that's why. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on building this fence hanging hay feeder for the goats, for the little Doelings. So I'm gonna make 4 sections. Each section is gonna be 30 inches wide and 23 inches tall. Okay, so I use fence pickets, just like I do on my chicken tractor. This stuff is not as reasonably as priced as it used to be. It's a little higher than it was pre-pandemic, but it's not too bad. It's like $2.48 a picket. Used to be $1 something. So I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna get rid of this end up here, just cut it off. And then I want 23-inch pieces, and I should be able to get 3 out of this 6-foot piece. And then what I do from there, I take the bottom of this hay feeder is going to be the width of a 2x4, so 3.5 inches. So this right here is one of my fence pickets at 23 inches long. Okay, this bottom end over here, it's already pre-drilled. I've already pre-drilled it. It's the width of a 2x4, and then it tapers up to where it's just the width of the picket up at the top. I used my Makita track saw to do this cut. It was very simple. I know a lot of y'all won't have a Makita track saw, but you can use a jigsaw for this. You can use just your regular portable saw, cordless saw, however you can make that angled cut. I want an angle on mine. You can probably just use the regular width, but I went with an angle so it kind of feeds down. Gravity kind of force feeds it down into that slope. So from there, Again, this tapered end down here, this is the width of a 2x4. I did pre-drill mine so it won't split when I put my screws in it. And now you got to make sure you flip these when you pre-drill them, if you're going to pre-drill them. I did shoot some video of that. I'll show you that real quick. Okay, so these are my angled pieces that I cut earlier with the track saw. And this is how they're going to set, and that 30-inch piece is going to go in here, and this will be the bottom. So make sure when you do this, if you ever do this, you have them angled right before you preset your drill holes in here. Because you don't want them coming from the same angle, the same side, then you'll have to flip it over and do it on the other side. Okay, now your 30-inch piece goes right here. And you don't have to be perfect with this. You don't have to make them flush or anything, just make them close. All right, and then do the other side. So I've got 4 30-inch sections. You don't necessarily have to do 2 fence pickets between each one. You could probably just screw this 30-inch piece straight into this as well. Just get rid of this. But I really wanted mine to be as sturdy as possible, so I went with a little bit of extra wood. These fence pickets aren't very expensive. The whole reason I have fence pickets is this little project right here. There's one, and here's the start of the second one. So I am building 2 more chicken tractors. One for some laying hens that I plan on trying to move around, and the other one just for my meat chickens so I can separate them. There's 30 of them, plus some. Probably like 34, 35 in there now. And I really only want there to be about 20 at the most. So I'll build one more, half them. I have about 17 in each one of them. Okay, so I just showed you the 4 sections I've already got built. You can see them right here. So what I plan on doing is tying these 2 together like this, screwing it together so that this stays together. And then I'm gonna flip them over. So the back side, so I'll flip them over so now that the back side is showing. That's very level, very straight edge. There's no angle to it. Okay. Now I'm gonna tie these 2 pieces together by using another fence picket at the top, going straight across. Okay, so I'm going to use an 18 gauge 1-inch nails on this. This is just an air compressed gun. Here, I'm on the back side of this again. This ground's not real level, so you gotta kind of make sure you flush it up yourself. Make sure that right there is flush. This is the back where it's gonna be hanging on the fence. So you want this fairly flush. Pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some screws in it. Now I am just going to measure, but I want to measure the bottom. So it's 62 7/8. I want to cut that for the top piece up here. Okay, so now I'm going to cut another fence picket at 62 7/8. That'll go across the back of this. We'll see how sturdy that is. I may add some more pieces. We'll see. Okay, first I'm going to nail these together, and then I'll come back in and screw them together as well. Now we're going to come down and do this end. And this is why I said to measure from the bottom, because right now that's how far we are. That's how far off we are. That's over 1 inch. So you're going to pull this out. That way your top is the same width as your bottom. Now you just kind of want to make sure there's the same distance between the two. open spaces here. So I have 29 and 5/8. 30 and 1/4. So if I go with 30 here, you could do the math if you wanted to. 30 there. All right, so I'll leave it right there. You just kind of want this fairly straight. Okay, so everywhere you just saw me nail, I'm gonna go back and add screws now. And then I'm just gonna duplicate this for this other section, and I'll have 2 sections. Okay, so here's one of the 2 sections put together. So this piece here, remember, is 30 inches long. These side pieces are 23 inches long, and they're angled or tapered. The top is the normal width of 5.5 inches. The bottom is a 2x4 width, so 3.5 inches. I've got 2 side pieces right here butted up against each other just for extra support. You may not have to do that. You might be able to get away with just 1 piece in the middle there. 62 and 7/8 all the way across the back there. That's what this total measurement was at the bottom. So that's what I went with at the top, so it would be kind of square to the best that I can do with just warped wood. Fence pickets aren't the straightest stuff, but it's already treated. It's already ready to be outside. It can get wet. The only thing I may have to replace down the road is that 2x4 because it's not treated. So I'm going to try to get away with not doing a piece along the bottom on the back, kind of like this top piece here. I probably should do one along the bottom on the back side, but I want to see if I can get away with not doing one. And then what I'm going to do from here is on the back side of this, I'm putting, I will put chicken wire. And then on the front side of this, I'm going to put either like horse panel, hog panel, you can even put cattle panel. And then on top of that, I'm going to put 2x4 opening fence fabric. And with those 8 Doelings over there, I'm thinking 10 feet would be plenty. That gives them a foot apiece to eat from, and they're not all going to eat at the same time. Okay, I've got both sides here. So I've got a 5-foot piece, a little over 5 foot here, a little over 5 foot here, so a total of 10 feet. So this is the back side. I've cut some chicken wire, a little like 64 inches. That way there's some overhang that I can cut off here in a minute. So this is a 2-foot wide chicken wire, and I've got it for my chicken tractors, which is this still, you know. I just haven't finished it yet, so.
No staples?
Helps if you put staples in your stapler first. Okay, this staple gun does work better with staples in it. So you might be asking, why am I putting chicken wire on the back side of this? And the main reason is when this back side is going to be up against the fence, but when I shove hay down in here, there's going to be 6x6 openings that the hay will just fall right out, because that Doeling pen is made with fence pickets that are 6x6, have 6x6 openings. So you got to put something up against it that keeps the hay inside. Okay, you can kind of see how I've done that section. I'm just going to continue on, and I'm going to do the other one over here as well. So now I'm going to flip them over so the front side is up, and I'm going to staple on the 2x4 fabric wire. Now let me bring you in close and show you this. So this is that, I call it fabric wire, fabric fence. It is touch welded, but it's not real strong. It's not, you know, you can't really make a fence out of it. Whoop, that didn't work. So I'm just going to go around and staple all these in. Okay, so here's one section of the hay feeder, and I'm going to put this cattle panel across the front of it, and that makes it more rigid, where the goats can't push into this 2x4 fabric stuff and just rip it out. I've noticed this definitely helps. Some kind of support in the front. That way they can't push all the way through into the fabric wire. So I cut 64 inches. That way I can, one piece, it's 4 feet wide, so 64 inches by 4 feet should cover both of these, because these are only 23 inches. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna cut this and then use the other piece over there. The way I'm gonna secure the cattle panel to the front of this hay feeder is just your regular fence staples or nails, shaped like that. Well, I told y'all earlier in the video I wanted to put Chip back in with the mamas, just in case they weren't all bred. Right there's Chip, and I didn't put him over here. He got out himself. And look, Megatron right there is out. So Chip is now with all the mamas. I didn't have to do any of the work, and he doesn't like the ponies for some reason. We're gonna have to work on that. So he will stay over here for at least 2 months, probably more, just to keep him over here. Hopefully they're all bred, but you never know. Either way, he's interested. He's gonna do his job. So now I need to get Megatron pushed back over to his pen. And let me show you how they got out. It's my mistake again. So earlier today I went and fed them some grain because I have them penned up. And I've been feeding them grain and then letting them out during the day to just eat grass. But today I didn't want to let them out because we were moving the Doelings. That's the right this evening. Good. So you can see what they did. I clipped this one, and then I left this one undone while I was going in and out this gate because I fed them some grain. And I'm sure Chip is the one that busted through this first, because he was already in the goat pen. He was already in the mama pen when I found it. And Megatron was just right here. So Megatron, I'm sure, got out second. But that's wedged good. And that's wedged pretty good in there. I'm gonna have to, I don't know how I'm gonna get this, to be honest with you. Okay, they really done a number on that gate. I'm gonna have to get my son down here to help me. I put all my body weight on it and I don't weigh enough to even budge it, and I'm trying to muscle it and I don't have enough muscle, I guess. It's wedged really good. Okay, we were able to get this unwedged and bent back where it goes. Got messy face in. His face is always messy. Huh. Which actually, the bridge of his nose is now brown or tan. It used to be white. So it looks like he's got a messy face. I'm out of breath because I let Megatron get in with the girls just so I could grab him. He didn't get with any of them, but when he's over there, the girls come towards me and he tries to get squirrels and it's easy to get him. All right, Chip's happy. He's back with his girls. So all of these mamas have had a baby. Even Nuka here had a miscarriage last year. So they've all been pregnant and had babies. I do have Yelena out. Just Jenny's in with these mamas now. So Yelena's behind me, back up here towards the house. I'm gonna entice her in to the Doeling pen with some food, with some meat. So hopefully I can get her in there tonight. Otherwise she'll be running loose. All right, Chip. Everybody sees you. Act right. Everybody's watching. Yeah, you. Okay guys, that's gonna be the end of this video. I should have 1 or 2 more videos coming for the Doeling pen, little upgrades and things like that. Show you kind of what I'm doing and how I'm getting my hay there and how I'm doing it. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, come back and look for that. Look for those videos. We'll see you on the next one. Remember, do the good.